Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pretty Good Podcast. Hey. Episode 8. That's right. You've been watching it for 8 episodes. I'm sorry. How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing swell, sir.
Nice. Only one of you is doing...
I'm doing great. Fantastic. Happy to be here.
As always, I'm Lucas, joined by everyone. Go down the line here.
I'm RJ and guest today.
Yeah.
Craig Taylor, regular.
Big Matty D.
Didn't you say your name was Jebediah?
Jedediah. Yeah. Matt Davis. You know who I am if you've been on this channel.
So welcome back after it's been, honestly, probably a while. It's probably like a month since we put out the last episode. We've had it's been the holiday season. We've had some bouts with some sicknesses. And what a special day it is, because if you look outside right now, since we've got here, it's been snowing like a bitch.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to drive home in that tonight.
Yeah. This podcast is coming weeks later. We were trying to get some stuff out like right before Christmas and everything hit, and then it was like, RJ, you got COVID and couldn't come, and then Craig got COVID like the day we were supposed to film it, and was like, I hit you up and I was like, I heard your sister got COVID. You okay? And you were like, I mean, I feel like I kind of have a cold. I was like, let's not record. It's Christmas Eve, or Christmas Eve. Like, I don't want to give that to everybody I know. So
we don't usually get into like the whole COVID thing and everything, but like we all literally got systematically like COVID one after another. We had a canceled Christmas episode. We were supposed to be all decorated for Christmas. We had all these big plans to give out some presents and everything else. And we're like, okay, we can't do that. Yeah. Then we're like, let's do a New Year's episode. And then we had this big elaborate plan for like, party poppers and New Year's and have a big background. And then what happened again?
We were almost the deadliest warrior podcast.
Yep. Very true.
Now, what I'm curious about, because I have my own little story for this, we've pretty much down the line, I don't know, Matt, maybe not, but had COVID at this point. Did you guys, what was your experience with the COVID disease?
Mine was actually very similar to when I got the vaccine, because like when I got the vaccine, a lot of people I think have this experience where like the first 24 hours, like you feel like shit, and then like a switch flips, and then you're like, oh. This for me was like the first like 24 hours where I started experiencing symptoms was like really sucked. Where I was like, I couldn't like watch the TV. I like was one to like lay down, and the next 24 hours, like I definitely didn't feel great. I felt like I kind of just had a cold. I didn't think I was gonna lose my smell or anything, but a few days in, it felt like I constantly was just smelling the inside of my nose, and it was like super uncomfortable. And I couldn't like, it's not that I couldn't smell nothing. It's just I could only smell like my internal cartilage, and where I kind of like was like, it's not happening to me. It's not happening to me. And then I cracked open a bag of Doritos, and I couldn't taste those. And anyone who knows me, I was like, just fucking call the vet and put me down.
Yeah,
like, it was.
If anyone knows Craig, he loves Cool Ranch Doritos.
No fooling. No
fooling. They're that good.
I prefer the nacho cheese. That's my.
So what does the inside of your nose smell like if that's all you could smell?
Skin.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I can't really articulate it, but it was like, it wasn't nothing, but it was like, it sucked.
Yeah, mine started more as a cold. And for 2 days, I was still at work. I was on a business trip to Wisconsin, and everybody kept telling me to go home. But I was like, it's a cold. Colds still exist. It's not COVID. And then that Wednesday into Thursday, I was up all night with a fever. Yeah. And so I stayed at the hotel the next day, ended up getting an at-home test. It was negative. Took the second at-home test that's in the kit. Still
Pregnancy
negative.
Test? Or?
No. Still negative for that, though. But so it was negative both times. So I'm an idiot, and I still went to the movie theater that night to see Spider-Man No Way Home. I got an edge seat, wore my mask the whole time, didn't get any snacks. And then on my drive home from Wisconsin the next day, I go to take a sip of Gatorade, and I thought, this tastes like nothing. So I got home, took another test, and that was positive. It was pretty much just a cold for a couple days after that.
So, Matt, you pretty much like unverified, not sure if you've had it.
I have not had it, because that 2-week period where I was sick, I had like some flu-like symptoms, and then I had pneumonia. But I got tested for COVID like so many freaking times, like 4 or 5 times, because everybody thought like, well, this has got to be COVID. This has got to be COVID. And then it was like, after like the 5th negative, they finally gave me a scan and they were like, this guy's got pneumonia. Remember that?
That's a thing that still exists.
Dude, no problem. We'll get you some pills.
You're like,
yeah, I'm like two weeks in. I'm like, that would be nice.
yeah. So you guys both lost taste very recently, like within a month.
Yes.
Okay. So here's what's been going down with me. So I've tested negative on like everything I've tested.
Why are you using the present tense?
I past tense tested negative on everything I had. But
You have HIV.
yes.
Okay.
Good news, it's not COVID.
So I had this thing happen like not too long ago over like the holiday break. That was completely baffling. So if anyone knows me, I love everything hot sauce, buffalo wings, salt and vinegar chips, like the nastiest, smelliest foods you can eat. And so I went out one day and we had some stuff to like take back to the mall after Christmas. And I was like, okay, we're going to go out there. Let's just grab something at the food court. So I go out there to like the chicken restaurant, whatever it is, Crispy's Chicken, whatever off-brand it is.
Crispy's Chicken is probably right on. Like,
and there's this dude, he's playing on his phone. He's playing like Flappy Bird on his phone while I'm like trying to order. And I'm like, you have any hot sauce for my chicken? He's like, yeah, we got this. It's this like hot sauce I've never seen in my life before. Like this weird, it had like it was like in Spanish. I'm like, okay. So I go back, dump it in, dip my chicken in. I'm like, oh, that's not good hot sauce. Like, I don't know what that is. I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, hey, try this real quick. And she's like, yeah, it tastes like maybe like mustard based or something. So I didn't think anything about it. So I go home that night and we're like, okay, we're making chicken for dinner. And of course, I'm going to douse it in hot sauce. So I dump like a shit ton of hot sauce on it like I normally do. And I go and take a bite and I'm like, so this is a hot sauce I've had like regularly. It's one of my favorite. I'm like, oh, this tastes just like that hot sauce at the mall. Like, what's going on? So I'm like eating more of it. And it gets to the point where like I can't even stand the smell of the chicken in front of me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I go over to my fridge. I take out like the bottle of hot sauce and I smell it. And it smells like rotten meat and ammonia.
You had that.
And so I'm like, oh my God. And then I like took out like the barbecue sauce. I'm like, oh my God, that's rotten meat and ammonia. I took out like the ketchup, like every sauce in my fridge.
Is that a thing? Is that a disease that's
It's
going
something
around?
that comes along with some cases of COVID.
Oh.
But so I'm like smelling everything in my fridge. I'm like, whoa, like what's going on, man? And I quickly determined that like the root of the cause was vinegar. And everything that has vinegar, distilled vinegar, anything of vinegar in it smells like rotten meat and ammonia to me.
Still?
Yeah. So far, they call this...
or just like, I better scoot away.
They call this parasomia, is what I found out is like the name, where essentially it has an onset after you've had COVID up to like 2.5 months. So I could have had it in like Dominican Republic. I could have had it over the holidays. Who knows about that? Because I'm fine right now. But since then, my like anything that has vinegar, I dare you to go home and look in your fridge. Everything has distilled vinegar in it. I guarantee you, I have learned that because I had to do like a grocery shopping trip now where like I had to pick out stuff without vinegar. Very difficult. It all smells like rotten meat and ammonia, and I can't be around anything that has it, which is all my favorite foods.
Lucas, probably not the best time to tell you this, but when I was at your house for the Christmas party, I took a piss in your hot sauce.
And every other sauce in the
You went to the chicken joint, peed in the sauce.
See, I had a different experience with spicy things. I was desperate to taste or smell something.
Yeah.
Because I was just pissed that it was all gone. So we were going to go.
I envy you right now.
Melissa and I went to go.
Is this
get
a case of you'd rather feel pain than nothing at all?
Sure.
Not if it's rotten meat.
So Melissa and I were going to go to Wendy's, and no.
You like Wendy's?
I love it.
Too easy.
You like Wendy's nuts?
So the line was too long at the drive-thru, so we went to Arby's instead. They had those like boneless wings, so I was like, all right, it'll be spicy. Let me get that. Can't taste it at all. My mouth just hurt.
Dang.
And I just repeatedly sniffed it, just trying to get something. And I think that fucked up my nostrils, and my nose started bleeding like a faucet. It was, it was like, I think it was like nearly an hour. I couldn't get it to stop. Finally, I had to get gauze and just jam it in my nose. And right as I was going to go to the hospital because I couldn't get it to stop, finally it stopped. But at that point, I lost so much blood, I was pretty loopy the rest of the day.
How embarrassing that be to tell the doctor. He's like,
I was sniffing
I was
hot sauce.
sniffing hot sauce.
I would just say I was snorting coke at that point.
Yeah.
Doctor's like, don't do that.
Well,
But-
you guys' smell has come back though since.
Yes.
Yeah.
By
So-
the way, I just gotta say them Arby's boneless wings, they ruled while they were in. They were really good.
So whenever I took a bite, I couldn't taste it, but I told Melissa, I was like, I bet these taste really good. I
They-
can tell. They
I can attest. I got them on and off thing, and then I went back to Arby's like the next day to get more. I was like,
the
those are
only
really
way to
good.
get me to Arby's is put buffalo sauce on something.
So Arj, ask me, since you got your smell back, ask me what the typical recovery period for the parasomia is.
What is it?
3 to 7 months is
Oh,
what it says on Wikipedia. So I can't eat anything with vinegar, distilled vinegar. One molecule of vinegar being in something will, like, I get no registry of what that smells like. I just get pure rotten meat and
Yeah,
vinegar.
all I know from that is that one of my cousin's friends on Twitter posted about it, and she said that it was about 5 months and she was still experiencing it. It wasn't
Kill me.
as extreme, but it was still there.
Kill me.
Which I guess non-extreme smelling like sewage is still pretty bad.
I cannot explain. Have you ever had like horseradish or wasabi where it goes like straight into your sinuses and like it just burns up there? It's like that, but with rotten meat and ammonia smell. And like if you have something with it that day, it like takes forever to get back out of your sinuses. I guess it's something with the disease. Whenever you have it, damages your sinuses, and then to the point that just like one day your perception of smell just like gets so screwed up that you don't know what like anything is anymore. But what's weird is
Turn the vinegar, or is this?
yeah, is there
Yeah, this is gonna be a little awkward.
but like the biggest like screw you disease that's ever existed.
Yeah.
I love buffalo wings and hot sauce, and I'm in a nightmare right now.
I can't wake up.
Yeah. Well,
So besides that, how was everyone's holiday? How was your Christmas?
I did not get sick, so that was nice. My Christmas was good. We had a good white elephant party together, and then the three of us were together for New Year's too, and that was a really cool party. So.
Yeah, the white elephant was pretty good. And what's really funny, your wife ended up with the gift that Katie bought through my Amazon, and now I just keep getting recommendations of the stupidest gift.
Shrek hats.
Yeah, it was a bucket helmet that said, "This is my swamp" with Shrek. I got 2 guys making out on a bucket helmet. It's Mike Wazowski with Shrek's head on it. And then there was something else that was like, because of your purchase history, I screenshotted it today. Like,
For the record, my white elephant gift was a Bobby Boucher Bourbon Bowl jersey, and I was so happy to get it.
I may or may not have bought that.
Yeah, that was yours. Yeah.
Anyone get any good gifts for actual Christmas to brag about?
My wife got me this Babu Frick bobblehead, the best character in all of Star Wars. I unwrapped this thing because it's like a big box, like when it's still in the container. And I unwrapped it. I looked at her. I was like,
This is a PS5.
I was like, what monstrosity did you bring into our house? Like, what is this disgusting thing? But I love him. He's perfect.
Yeah, I told my whole family to just give me money. And each person who gave me money, they're like, a little birdie told me that you wanted cash. I'm like, just give me the
They're inspired by your browsing. I'm going to throw this picture. You'll see it on the screen. Obama.
Is that the B movie?
Yeah, it's Benny V. Benson.
What is that?
Obama Prism. So I'm glad my Amazon is just completely tainted from that party. I ended up with
Alexa, buy me the Obama Prism bucket hat.
Yeah.
anyone out there who just got that ordered for them.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't do anything because I had COVID the whole time. Although what was nice is I got like that entire week, like from Christmas to January 2nd off work. And I work from home. So I don't know why they gave me off because I can 100% do my job without my taste of smell or taste.
Yeah.
But
they don't need
Taste
to know
to
that.
taste.
Oh, yeah, my taste of taste. But yeah, it was nice little vacation.
I had like the busiest week of my life in between that. Like I feel like I was doing something every freaking day.
Must be nice.
But, you know, it was all worth it because for my white elephant gift that I was given, it's our lovely soon-to-be retired quarterback of Pittsburgh, Ben Rothensberger. It was...
Walter Payton, man.
Yeah, it was your wife that gifted it, right?
You had to throw up a picture of it. For sure.
I will definitely throw up a picture. It is the most textured picture that you could hang on the wall of Ben Roethlisberger's face.
Oh, yeah. It's that thing I put in the chat there. Yeah.
You can feel his double chin.
It's just like you could feel the stubble on his like chin, and like his eyes are like doing that like buggy thing where they're like sunken in slightly.
Yeah, Melissa was at like the home goods store and saw it. It was like, this is my white elephant gift.
What year did that stuff happen with Ben? Where he was in a bathroom with a girl?
2008, probably.
Yeah, that was like
9.
Allegedly.
I think 2010.
Allegedly.
I'll have everybody watching know they actually settled out of court, so I don't want any comments about what may or may not have
see
happened.
before the Browns-Steelers game on Monday, a lot of people on social media like saying, all I see is a guy who sexually assaulted people. It's like...
Hey, I saw a lot of good-natured people from all different teams.
First of all, there is... It's terrible. This isn't an excuse for behavior, but there's a lot of shitty NFL players on like every team.
Yeah.
Especially the Browns are not ones to talk. Like the Browns were like, they saw Kareem Hunt punch that girl and they were like, they couldn't get to the waiver wire quick enough to pick him up. They were like, score.
He didn't punch her. He like punted her down the hallway.
And, so I don't want to hear anything from you Browns fans, but, you know, Big Ben, what can I say? The Steelers have not had like a losing season with him under center, and I'm gonna miss that.
I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I hate that stat because who cares? We didn't win Super Bowls. That's what matters.
We did though. Like
went more than a lot of teams. A lot of teams don't even get to go.
He took us the last decade.
He took us to 3, and we won 2 of them.
Take that off. Take that off right now.
I'm just saying.
I'm happy with Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that stat means nothing to me.
I like it. I like that stat.
So if you're sleeping under a rock, Ben Roethlisberger is 39 and
using the Antonio Brown pronunciation of his last name.
Roethlisberger.
He is eventually, presumably at the end of this season, because there's one more game, is retiring finally. And we have pretty much all grown up with Ben as our QB. Yeah. Like since we were like 9 years old, have pretty much been just watching him.
Not him. He's a Jets fan.
Yeah. Love the Jets.
We'll get to that.
I'm just going to tell people, like, Craig came in last in our fantasy league, and the punishment this year was you have to wear a Le'Veon Bell Jets jersey to a bunch of places.
Lucas, what's the next topic we got?
The Le'Veon Bell jersey is the next topic.
We never made solid rules, but I remember we said, like, if you're attending an event of any kind with more than one person in the league, you have to wear it.
That Penguins game with Scott later.
my wedding in June.
There was like a point I was like close to the bottom. I was like, no, those rules, we should be real lenient to the loser. And then I like started like having my comeback. I'm like, fuck the loser, man. He sucks.
Let's kill him. Let's kill him.
Let's just kill him, man.
Yeah.
So, Matt,
what's up? You want gift time.
I mean, we could play with them during the
let me
podcast.
just say, I got you a gift, and I got RJ a gift. You guys, because I was supposed to see you before Christmas, I was going to give you all your gifts at once. But as we said, things were delayed. I already gave you...
Let me talk about that real quick.
I already gave you your gift.
Yeah, I want to talk
Yeah, you want to talk about what I got you?
So, as everyone knows, I've said it like, this is 8 episodes now. I've said it 8 out of 8 episodes. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. So I played every Resident Evil game. There's nothing left to get me. But Matt was like, I'm going to think outside the box. And he got me a game for PlayStation 5 called Tormented Souls. And I've never heard of it before opening it up that day. And I was like, oh, yeah, this looks pretty sweet. Oh, yeah. Pretty good. Pretty sweet. So I was like, okay, took like a day or two, put it in, kick it off. First thing you see in this game. What's the first thing you see, Arj? I boot up the game. I hit new game. What's the first thing I see? Full frontal female nudity.
I was just going to say that. I literally was going to say the titties.
I was just like... good game right off the bat.
Right off the
Way to
bat.
make a first
Although
impression.
she is in like a bathtub with like tubes down her throat and stuff, so it takes away a little bit. But so
I mean,
I'm gonna throw up some footage of me playing this game here. So you're in like an abandoned hospital. I don't want to give out in case anyone wants to play it, but you're in like an abandoned hospital type setting where there's like these creepy things creeping around and like stalking you the whole time. And it's very old school survival horror. Like you got to solve this puzzle and you actually have to think about it. And you actually have to Google it when you can't figure it out yourself. And you have to use a walkthrough guide to get through it. But it's, puzzle, horror, suspense based, and it's real dark, and you have to like shut off the electricity, and you're like by light sometimes. And just, I've never played a game before that the music and like the background has affected me so much, because I have that sound system at my house, and it's just like one of those, I might even throw in like a sound clip of it where it's like, you're playing the game and you hear a sound and you like, you have to like look over your shoulders because it just sounds that good. And what's really funny is the voice acting of the game's kind of like B-rate, but it's really funny too. And like it's like two different experiences when like someone's actually talking versus when you're playing the game. But
I can't sleep, and when I am able to fall asleep, it's only to dream horrible nightmares.
yeah, good pick. Really, really interesting game, and I'm looking forward to seeing the end of it.
I'm glad I hit that one. It was I had heard it was good, and then I had also heard the whole gimmick of the game is that it's like Resident Evil. And
Oh
so
yeah,
I was
it's
like,
definitely like,
I was like,
make
well,
Resident Evil, but don't copy it.
yeah, I was like, let's give it to Lucas. Yeah, don't make it obvious I copied your homework.
Resident Evil like as well as Souls like and Rogue Light.
Did you play it?
No.
All right, we can move on to your presents here on the table.
RJ, I got RJ like a couple.
Something that I like a lot,
Yeah.
not Melissa so much. Yeah,
Was she mad that I got those for you?
I just keep adding it to the same area of my house. It was just some Dragon Ball like figurines,
Yeah.
and I only am allowed in my house one little area of my items.
Every man has their one bookshelf.
I was thinking of your bookshelf where you've got your Funkos and your displays, and I was like, all right, I'll get him these fig pin
And
things.
so yeah, they're placed and they look beautiful. And when Melissa walks by, she has to look at them, so it makes it even better. So thank you for that.
Vegeta and Trunks. So
yeah.
all right, well now I can give COVID Craig his gift here. I'm gonna save these guys for those are a little bit of a bet, but Craig, this is yours. I gave you a Hufflepuff sticker because you tested Hufflepuff on Pottermore. So
I'm sorry. That's worse than COVID.
Could've said it better myself.
Shout out to Hufflepuffs, But Brendan, I gave you a Ravenclaw sticker because I don't know what house you are, but I figured.
Matt, are you
I remember
Are you the one?
I did one of those tests a while, and that's what I got.
Yeah.
What? Does everyone remember what they did? Did you do like Pottermore test?
Oh yeah,
it was Gryffindor.
I got Gryffindor. I gave RJ a Gryffindor sticker, and I gave Lucas a Slytherin sticker.
That's fair.
because
I'm all
you
about
like
those.
you like to do Voldemort impressions.
Harry Potter.
All right. All right, listen, let's cut the spoilers.
Oh yeah. Sorry. All right, you guys want to? Craig, you go first. Go ahead and open your gift
Keep
up.
away from the mic so it's not.
If it's another, what if it's another Le'Veon Bell Jets jersey?
Chiefs jersey.
Craig.
We got what we got here. I love it.
Yeah, it's a box. It's
You got me.
sexy.
I couldn't afford you a present this year, so I got you this box.
Me too.
I got like 100 of these laying around my house. Right
Those the other side should just be like taped. Yeah, you can like.
Tune in next week to see if Craig gets his box open.
Craig was in the gifted program in high school.
now. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We got
Yeah,
fake pen, and then we got
you gotta get Marcus.
Wait, is that Marcus Phoenix?
the Marcus Phoenix.
Is that the Marcus Phoenix who fought at Aspo
The
Fields?
one that fought
Yep.
at Aspo Fields. So
That's really cool.
That's cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate
hey,
it.
well, I figured
Really?
Craig can put those right next to his Xbox. Craig's a big Gears of War fan, so had to hook you up.
Love it.
All right,
Gotta download the fake pen app.
Brendan, you got the Brendan can.
Hoping that I don't knock over the mixer.
It's a little bit of an operation.
It's a delicate operation.
Ooh, look at that. Alien, the role-playing game.
Yeah, I got you the starter set.
Sick.
Last Christmas, Brendan got me Call of Cthulhu
He
starter
gave
pack,
you his
so-
heart.
Yes.
And the very next day.
We got to do one of these.
I was going to say, I'm buying that with the intention we got to play it sometime, Brendan. So.
Hey, have you ever DM'd Brendan?
No.
He's
haven't.
about to, though.
Yeah, you gotta DM the alien campaign.
Yep.
What I think will be fun in that is I assume that like mostly if you do like a regular D&D or like Star Wars D&D, your characters aren't really like supposed to die.
Right.
Whereas that one, I would hope that you fucking everybody
Oh, yeah.
just like dies.
I feel like you're supposed to die, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. That's going to be...
Yeah.
Lucas, for Christmas, did you get Brennan the $100 you owe him?
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the next topic here.
Oh, wait. That's Lucas's. Sorry. Craig. That's Lucas's.
Double
And this is
prize.
Brendan's. I didn't get you one,
I'll
RJ.
just
sorry.
kick rocks while you get.
So you guys can just open them all at once if you want.
Smells like vinegar.
I bet I know what it is.
Smells like
Yeah.
vinegar.
Yeah.
So I got.
Smells
Don't say that, or they're not going to sponsor you.
It smells strangely like very, very good.
Oh no.
I had to do it to him.
The chalky milk.
For
We got-
men's daily use.
We got the Dr. Squatch soap.
Oh, pow chicka wow wow.
So yeah, Brendan got the Moon Rock. Lucas got Bow Chicka Wow Wow, and Craig's was my favorite. He got chalky milk. I was like, who in the hell wants to smell like chocolate milk?
It kind of smells like chocolate milk.
I have that.
rotten meat in
It's
my-
got vinegar in here. Lucas.
I have that one Dr. Squatch in my drawer that I just take a
It does
picture of every
smell
time
like
I travel.
Straight up.
Never use it.
So
Wow, that is the best thing I've ever smelled in my entire life.
I can't wait
Matt,
to-
where can we buy these?
I can't wait to not be a pussy. Fucking wash myself with Dr.
Oh,
Scott.
hold on. My girlfriend just texted me. If you use that soap, I will do you.
nice.
It says, be careful driving home. It's snowy outside.
So, guys, we've done so many Dr. Squatch bits on here. We're still holding out for the sponsorship, but I had to do it. I found like a holiday pack on there, and I was like, I'm gonna get this holiday pack and just give a bar to like a bunch of people.
Joke's on you. I like it.
No, I'm glad. I
Did
actually thought it smelled pretty good.
This
Like
actually-
unironically smelled
Unironically,
good.
this
So
smells good.
yeah,
Did Adam give one of you one, or did you give Adam one?
I gave Adam.
That's what I thought. Okay, I knew there was an exchange of one there. What was that flavor?
I gave
Or was it
Adam.
scented?
I gave Adam the Yoda flavor. they did like a Star Wars
Not
one.
scented flavored.
Yeah, this is like
It's Adam. He'll
wisdom.
probably eat it.
Yoda's wisdom wash or something.
Smelly you are.
Dagobah bath.
So next time you guys take a shower, think of me.
So we had our New Year's party. We all hung out in the same basement we've been hanging out in since we were in high school.
Yeah.
And
cool.
I know nothing about this. It's just been thrust upon me. But apparently RJ has a New Year's story he wants to grace us with.
So you don't have to tell this if you don't want to.
You have to tell it.
It's fine. Matt knows because he stayed over. So towards the end of the night, everybody was kind of falling asleep. We were watching South Park. So you left, Katie left, Adam, Court, half the people left.
Of all the episodes, just to set the tone, like we're all kind of like, you know, intoxicated because it's the end of New Year's, and sue me, okay? And we're sitting on the couch, and it's like, oh man, let's just, I'm starting to get tired. Let's put some on. What episode of South Park comes on? It's the episode where it's Earth, the TV show, and they have the two alien producers, and they're like, oh, suck my jag on. It's like, I don't think I've seen this episode since I was like 11 years old. I'm like, of all the episodes to be on, it's just so weird. Like, but anyways, Arj.
Yeah, so at this point, I passed out, so I don't remember anything. Everybody's trying to get me to go to bed, and I'm
Everyone's
not.
trying to suck your jag on.
Yeah.
That would have been a better outcome.
Put your finger in my flebnar,
And so I'll do it from not my point of view because I don't remember any of it. So apparently I wake up kind of sleepwalking and I go into Dan, our friend Dan and Sabrina, they were hosting the party. I go into Dan and Sabrina's bedroom and pull Dan's top drawer out of his dresser. Sabrina said it was going on for like 30 seconds to a minute of me just jimmying this thing to rip it out. I get it out successfully, put it on the floor, and just start peeing in it. So Dan finally stopped me, and this is the first thing I actually remember is Dan saying, "Dude, that's my drawer." And apparently I kept trying to hand it to him as a gift. And then finally he told me to leave, and I tried to leave with the drawer in hand, and he had to like rip it out of my hands. And the next morning I wake up, and I couldn't really remember it. And then I heard Dan talk, and it all came back, and I was like, "Oh, fuck."
How much shit was in that drawer?
He said it was just his underwear, but he said I got it on all of his underwear.
Man.
Yeah, someone peed all my underwear. It wasn't me.
That is true. I don't remember peeing. So
Yeah. It's a cover up.
Yeah, Matt, you ever peed in a drawer?
No. And if I did, it would have been at your house. I wouldn't tell you.
You peed in my kitchen sink.
Now, that was different. Okay. So
what story is that?
that was different. So this was funny. Craig was in an apartment with a roommate. He was your new roommate, and we had never met him. And like until that night, I hadn't even like gotten a chance to say hi to him yet because he was like going around. I go over and I have to pee so bad. I mean, it's late in the party. It's cold out. And there's two bathrooms in this apartment. Two people are passed out in like the respective bathrooms. So like I couldn't get in, like people are crowding the bathroom. They're not letting anyone in. So I couldn't go to either of the restrooms. So I was like, here's an open sink. So I'm peeing in the kitchen sink, you know, like an animal. And I got the water. I had the water running, you know, and I'm aiming for the drain.
Yeah,
And
you're avoiding like the dishes from dinner.
There were no dishes or anything. I'm not an animal, but Craig's roommate comes walking into the room, and I like step down real quick and like zip up my jeans, and I like go over to the living room, and I'm like, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And then I just go, like, we're making small talk. And I go, sorry about, like, peeing in your sink. And he goes, what? And I was like, oh, all the bathrooms were taken, so I peed in your sink. I'm sorry. You walked in on me doing it. I thought you saw me. He didn't say another word to me that night. He just started spraying cleaner in the sink and rubbing it.
You should have pissed in it again.
It was a worse moment. I was just like, sorry about peeing in your sink. Huh? I was like, fuck. And there were so many other ways to get out of that situation, but it's like my guilt just took over, and I was like a puppy. I was like, you walked in and I was peeing in your sink.
I'm peeing in your sink. I didn't
even get to finish too. I still had to pee.
You were trying to finish.
I pee.
Wasn't that kind of party?
There's nothing worse than when you have to just pee so fucking bad.
Oh yeah.
I know we've covered our stories. Arj, have you ever had any stories where you just had to pee so bad you
besides
were in, like,
the one you just
desperation mode when you remembered it?
Honestly, no. But I believe it or not, I have sleepwalk peed about 5 times now. So that's my desperation. But
I have someone who I'm related to that does that, and he has peed in a dishwasher, in a garbage can, in a closet, in the stove. Like he like invents something new every time.
Nice.
Tim, who was my college roommate, he has a picture of me standing in the corner of his room, just peeing.
Just being
In the corner, just pants fully down like a toddler, just
like Butters from South Park.
I went to visit you one time in Gannon right after GTA 5 like first came out.
Suck my J gun.
Like my yeah gun. We were hanging out in your dorm room, which was probably the size of this room here. And we got like trashed, and all I remember from that night is playing GTA 5. And like
It wasn't online. It wasn't fun. It was
no,
just
it was like we're doing
driving
the
around.
stupidest shit, just driving around, driving off stuff, and we were so trash that it was the funnest thing in the world.
the one thing I remember is Lucas taking a semi and just gunning it through the streets of the city, and then it felt like a half a second, and he was just driving through the desert. And I don't know how it happened.
The only thing dumber than that is we were like used to hang out every day whenever GTA 4 came out. And we would play it. You would bring your PlayStation over to my house and we'd play online.
He would have a 60-inch TV and give me the 24-inch
like
right
the
next to
20-inch
it.
TV. My screen's like the size of this room, and yours. But we used to play online, and we came up with this stupid ass thing because whenever Wiz Khalifa was like at his peak, and it was where you drive a car, take it off a jump, and then jump out of the driver's seat, and we called it Taylor Ganging.
But you had to hit the jump only with one side of wheels, so you'd start spinning. You had to jump out. So
Taylor Gang.
You have to have a spin for it to be a true Taylor gang. Okay.
So, speaking of Taylor Ganging,
I like it because they give Dom the Nasher too. I like that little
touch.
deet.
Yeah.
speaking of that, we tried to beat Gears of War 2 on Insane. We got to do that soon.
Yeah, we're working on it. Work in progress.
But Big Ben is not the only big news in football this week. There has been a perpetual moron in the NFL for a couple years now.
Come on now.
Come on the pod, AB. Antonio Brown walked out mid-game of the Tampa. Who were they playing?
Jets.
The Jets. They were losing to the Jets at that time.
Took off his jersey, walked out mid-game, leaves, and then tweets out his bank account information. We had to deal with that like up front because he was on our team and he was part of like, oh, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And I remember doing the dumbest quote of my life. We had like, it was like back in the Mike Wallace day, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Ben Rothensberger. And I bought a Mike Wallace jersey. And then Le'Veon Bell notoriously had his like departure from Pittsburgh. And I was like, oh, thank God we have Antonio Brown. He's so level-headed.
Yeah. He's so level-headed.
That's the way it was portrayed for all those years. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell he wasn't the most literate person, but
You don't need to be a genius to be a great football player.
he seemed like an okay guy.
Yeah.
I honestly think because people are giving like Mike Tomlin a lot of credit, saying like he put up with this for like 8 years, and not that I don't think like he deserves credit, Mike Tomlin, but I don't think he was this bad. I think people always talk about that perfect hit, but that's really where everything changed. And he starts changing his name and like doing just random shit. Like
He changed it to Antonio Ocho Cinco, I think.
yeah. Well, him tweeting out his bank account today was so fucking funny because that is exactly something he would do.
Yes.
Like, and he didn't do it on purpose. It just like
Yeah, it's like he's not trying to be mischievous. He just is like a dumb guy. Like
He's a dumb guy who's really talented at football.
Yeah, and he has like he obviously has some anger issues he needs to like get help for, but like he just I've never even attributed it to the perfect hit. I go for harder science, Craig. It's the Madden Curse. So
yeah, he is
it
one
was
of the
like-
worst Madden curses of all time.
It really was like he had 2 incredible seasons I remember, and then I remember calling him the GOAT at one point. I was like, talking about the GOAT, man, Antonio Brown, and then he got on the cover of Madden. And I remember being stoked that there was like a Steeler on the cover of Madden, and then it went really downhill really fast after that. Like,
I got a question. Do they continue calling the games Madden? And like, because it's the
no
late
doubt.
John Madden just passed away like very recently.
they might do a special one. I guarantee you this coming year's Madden is like John Madden is on the cover of it. I bet.
I could see them just fumbling that hard and just being like, "Hey, Josh Allen, let's go on this cover."
Yeah, it's like Aaron Rodgers.
They might like honestly. I think what they'll do though, they'll have like the Madden edition, and it's going to be the one with all the
It'll be
ultimate team
another
packs.
$70 on top of it.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
pay $150 for the same game you've been playing for 20 years.
It'll be the Aaron Rodgers fully immunized edition.
I am vaccinated.
Speaking of Antonio Brown,
Yeah, right. No, I mean, so he has posted stuff about that Jets incident where it's like, oh, you know, the coaching staff was putting me under pressure to play, and here's some examples of them doing some messed up stuff to other players. And I'm not saying he has no case or anything. It's just so hard to buy anything that Antonio Brown says because, like, he's been such a hurricane for the past, like, 2 or 3 years now that, I mean, how many teams has he gone through? He got kicked off the Steelers.
Then the Raiders.
He went to the Raiders, who paid an arm and a leg for him, and even after trying so hard to make it work, finally just had to cut him. Then he was
playing a game.
Then he was on he was on the Patriots for like a week, wasn't he?
One game, yeah. And he did pretty well in that one game.
One game for the Patriots. And then finally he was floating out in the ether, and like Tom Brady grabbed this orphaned boy off the street, moved him into his home, presumably so he could just babysit him. Like, Antonio, you're just going to be with me all day long, eating my food, watching the TV shows I don't watch, getting up at 5 a.m. to kiss my son in practice. And
on the mouth.
Yeah, I want to watch you kiss my son, allegedly. So, you know, he takes this guy up, and Brown struggled like with this season. Like, he couldn't stay on the field because of this injury, and then the suspension hit because he, of course, used a fake vaccination card. It wasn't that. Listen, there's a lot of NFL players that are unvaccinated, but like, you just go through the protocols. Like, Aaron Rodgers got busted for lying about it, but at least he didn't like lie to the league, I guess, about it. Like, Antonio Brown brought in a fake vaccine card, and when I saw that on Twitter, person accuses Antonio Brown of fake vaccine card, I believed it immediately because I was like, that is exactly something he would do. It sounds like something he would do. I think Antonio Brown, the only step for him next is to fight one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to get there myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing with him and like the feud with him and Arians is like, who do you believe? Like Bruce Arians, who apparently has like he's very like, I don't want to say storied, but like he has a good reputation. He has a very diverse staff. A lot of people look up to him, and you know he's a lot of credibility. Versus Antonio Brown, who's just like
his credibility is shot.
Yeah, been
completely.
nuts.
Yeah.
Like, who do you believe in that scenario? Because you could say anything. I mean, he had this lawyer draft up his like tell-all letter about how he's accusing them of making him play without an injury.
Now that I'm dead, here's the real dirt.
hey.
Oh yes, right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I will say this: a lot of people are already over the story, which I can understand getting fatigued after a while. But like, this is my favorite shit in football. It's like the drama and like the trashy stuff, like the trashy games where everyone's fighting. That shit is awesome.
Yeah, coming in last in fantasy. And
oh, come on.
That's
Kick a man.
That's why Craig doesn't want to talk about winning. He cares.
I don't know about that, but
kick a man while he's in a Jets.
This was Craig's first year in our league, so he kind of gets a pass, but he still has to wear the Jets jersey.
Yeah.
And no one told me how to play. But yeah, keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna translation.
You didn't even see translation. You said like translation. You're like, I'm gonna translation away from Rothensberger.
You know, the word I was going for was transfer. No,
transition. I thought maybe.
You're probably right now.
I'm gonna transition away from football for a second and talk about Lucas's driving.
Okay.
My little segment where I like to bitch about drivers that's been happening recently. So I have this parking conspiracy.
You like a sound effect?
So whenever I go out anywhere
across the screen,
whenever you go to a store, where do you guys park at? Like, do you park as close as you can to the store?
That's not worth it. Just walk a few extra feet and then you don't have to fucking hassle.
I'm like mid to far usually in
Yeah.
that range.
Do you look, Matt? Do you look for like the most open spot?
so straight up, I'm a bit like crazy with it. Sometimes I go for the close spot. No, but honestly, most of the time I just look for where the line of cars end, and I just take like that
Okay,
spot
That's actually
right there.
that's a good way to describe
That's
it.
rational, right? Okay, so I drive. For anyone who doesn't know, I drive a Ram 1500, so it's a little bit bigger. So whenever you open the doors, you tend to go over the line sometimes. So I go out of my way to park. I'm that guy who parks like, the line ends here. and then I skip like 10 parking spots and I park completely by myself. I have a conspiracy against me. I keep doing this. I'll park in the very back where there's 400 spots in front of me. Someone will always park right next to me or like on both sides of me. And then I had it happen again today. I went to the grocery store and then someone parked like this close to my door. And there's like 300 spots closer than me. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I had to go in my passenger side door to get into my truck.
They're just fucking with you. There's no other explanation.
There's a secret society that's following me around.
There's got to be a subreddit of people taking pictures. I did it again.
Oh, this guy's in a douchey truck. I'm gonna park next to him so he can't get in.
Lucas, remember like summer after senior year of high school, we went to Michael's with some girls.
The only reason you'd get dragged into a Michael's in high school.
They complained that I parked too far away, so when they went inside, I got in the car and parked like 3 parking lots over and walked back.
I also remember, I got to tell this story. It's going to throw you under the bus a little bit, but I got to tell it. We went into the exchange that we always reference, the video game DVD store, and we bought a dance pad with High School Musical 3. And then, so it was like $2. So
dude, I was there for that.
Were you?
I was there for that.
Do you know what happened immediately after that then?
Well, yes, I do. But
that's what I'm getting at.
I know what happened to the game. I ended up with that game.
Did you really?
Yeah, it ended up at my parents' house, and
Are you sure? Were you there when we actually bought it?
I threw it in the trash.
Good. It was like $2 and we bought it for like the joke. But we go back to RJ's car and we get in. And I'm holding, it's like a huge box too. Like it's like,
you know big. What? I might not have been there when you bought it. It was given to me as a gift for my birthday.
We bought it for you for that day. Yeah. It was like on your birthday because we go to pull out and RJ gets in an accident in the parking lot.
Rick was there, not Matt.
Is that who it was? Yeah.
Okay.
And so, this lady gets out that, we had this accident with. It was like 5 miles an hour low speed. Like there was no damage. And then I'm just, one of the like coming over, taking it. I'm holding this High School Musical 3 box.
And it's the exchange, so everything just like it was like the things were hanging out of it, so you could easily see it was a dance pad.
Yeah, we did play that a couple times, but yeah, when I cleaned out and moved out of my parents' house, I might have just thrown that in the garbage.
Good. I mean, it was bought as like a joke gift. But I have that, and I have this other thing. I don't know what it is about the winter around here. I can't go anywhere without having to slam my fucking brakes constantly. It happened on the way over here. There was an ambulance coming, like the opposite direction, and no one was coming. And the guy in front of me slammed his brakes so hard that like everything in my back seat ended up in my front seat, which was like all my props for the Deadliest Warrior podcast today. And the other day I went to pick up Italian food, and I was like driving along
the gabagool.
It
went flying.
I was driving along, and this deer just jumps out right in front of me. So I'm like, there's nothing you can do about that. I hit the brakes, come to an abrupt stop. I'm like, cool. So I'm driving along, I'm going on, and this guy's walking on the side of the road, all in black. It's like pitch black outside, and he goes, "Oh, I gotta cross the street right now," like 10 feet in front of me. I slam the brakes, like my back end of my car lifts up, and I'm just like, okay, I guess that happens.
Sign up. I did that once. I was in Penn Hills, and
that's where it was.
Yeah, and the dude started bitching at me, and I'm like, dude, you're in all black in the middle of the night. It was right by like where the Eaton Park is. The fucking busy ass street. I think that's considered Rhode Eye Road.
I think so.
Yeah, and there was a crosswalk like and like a stoplight, like not even like a quarter mile, a little bit further. But yeah, he decided to walk in black in front of me. And I was like, is that a person? I almost fucking hit him. And he guys started bitching at me. I'm like, dude.
But then I picked up my food. I'm coming back. And there's this guy driving his bicycle down the side. It's like 8 o'clock at night. It's 27 degrees outside. This guy's riding his bicycle. Oh, it's a perfect day for a ride. Cuts right out in front of me into the road. And I slam my brakes so hard. I'm just like, okay, where's the camera? Where's the joke? I don't get it.
Get the impromptu jokers in here. What is going on?
Well, believe it or not, people in Wisconsin do not know how to drive. Like in the snow. As soon as it snows.
Shout out any fans in Wisconsin.
Yeah. As soon as it snows, it's just stop, just traffic is going like 2 miles an hour the whole way.
That was
I
how
thought
it was
would
in
be the
North
opposite.
Carolina too.
Well, North Carolina makes sense, like because people aren't used to driving in the snow. Wisconsin, it snows 75% of the time. So
I remember when I moved to Minnesota, I had an internship there, and you have to go through Wisconsin to get there. I remember it was a very nice, like totally flat, like road. I was going with a beautiful sunset, and I was looking at my phone waiting for like the time to change. I'm like, and I saw it change, and I was like, yeah, like
You were driving and looking at your phone.
I think I was the passenger at that time. But
My advice to the audience here, none of this stuff happens to me, and it's because I go out of my way to be the most reckless and inconsiderate driver that I know. Therefore, bad stuff happens to people around me.
The two cars that Matt drives are an Xterra and a Mustang, so that'll tell you right there.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't really drive that Mustang.
We were in your Mustang one time in North Carolina though,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and we're driving like downtown, and it's raining pretty good outside.
Oh, God.
And you come to like a stop or something like that, and this wave of water just comes out of your vents.
Yeah.
And like lands on my lap. I'm like,
It wasn't
supposed to happen?
It wasn't even the vents. It was there was some sort of sealing problem with that front window, and it would leak like where your airbag and your console is, but it's like underneath that where all the wires are. It would just start peeing like into the passenger floorboard. And I remember I'm driving you guys, and it just starts like leaking into the car. You guys are, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep driving because it's pouring rain. I can't stop in the middle of the road. And yeah, it was weird. It for a while there, it would just do that when it rained, and I had to like keep a towel there until I could get it like the seal fixed on the freaking front window.
your car was like, oh yeah, Matt, give me some wet.
Well, to keep everybody interested for a future episode, when you inevitably have Adam on, you got to tell the story of going to the south side.
When Adam almost killed us.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. Spoiler: we spun around twice in the oncoming lane.
Well, let Adam tell the story because it'll be even more beautiful whenever he fumbles
it'll come
everywhere.
Hey Adam, if you're listening, come on the podcast.
Yeah, Adam's got to come on next time.
All right, something I always like to ask when we have guests on here, Arj, what games are you playing right now? And don't tell me Rocket League.
I was gonna say the meme is Rocket League. That is a big one. There's a game called Dark Deception, I think. It's something I just saw somebody playing online, and you can buy like there's 8 seasons of it, and you can buy all of them for like $20. And pretty much it starts off as something pretty cool. It's a survival horror thing. And then all of a sudden it turns into, hey, collect these gems, and this thing's gonna chase you, and there's really no way to avoid it. You just have to keep going.
Yeah.
And after it kills you 5 times, it's like, oh, you suck, you died. But then you go back to the same spot you were in with just 5 more lives, so it doesn't really matter. So there's those 2 games.
is it true you'll only spend $5 or less on a game?
My number is 20. But 5 is like if somebody suggests it and it's $5, it's a guarantee I'll buy it.
Because $5, like movies cost like $7.
Another game that was $5 is the game that we've played together,
Devour.
So it's not the best game. Matt, I'll just give you a quick idea of what it is. Basically, you start in and you have the same tasks each level to get something. Whatever it is different each round, and you have to like burn it in some way, and there's some evil thing chasing you the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah, but it gets borderline unfair because the more things you burn, the
faster it gets.
Yeah, so where it's like, how do you? Because you can do it solo, which I think is a fucking impossible.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
and then there was when we were playing the spider level, there's this woman who looks like a spider and she's chasing you around. You have to steal her eggs and burn them in the proper totems around the house. So I burned one, and when you burn one, she gets pissed. And so I notice, hey, you can hide in this closet right here. So I hide in the closet, and I hear her walking around the room, and I about shit myself because she opens the closet and pulls me out and kills me or drags me to wherever. And then the tip pops up on the screen. She can sometimes find you when you're hiding in the closet.
We're all playing online together too. You could hear her like, okay, I'm hiding in the closet. She's there.
And then we all just see the same tip pop on the screen at the same time.
We did beat the first level of that game though. We did that. Craig, RJ, me, and then our friend Rick was playing for a good while. I want to go back to that. I want to beat that Spider Lady.
Yeah, it was fine. Well, it got on sale for $4, so it was.
That's true. And we were playing for like 5 hours.
It's like $1 an hour.
Yeah.
We only beat one level, but it was fun.
But I love, it's like, there's like, give or take like 8 things you have to get. And you're like, oh, it's not that bad. And like, they're like, oh, I'm coming to get you. Dude, run away.
And then you fuck with it.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah, you burn like 3, maybe 4 of the things. And it's like, it's like Usain Bolt. And you're like, oh.
You can't avoid it. There in the first level, there's this big hallway. And if she was on the one end, you're on the other, and you see her, you don't have enough time to turn around and leave the hallway before she would get you. Oof. But it's fun. You got to just sacrifice
intense.
yourself sometimes and let the other guys do stuff. But yeah, it's a good one. But the main game that I've been playing recently is just a throwback. Finally bought Fallout 4 on PC because it was on sale for the winter sale, and I already have about 20 hours in about 2 weeks. But
Yeah, I remember getting Fallout at the beginning of this year and Fallout 4 and
The first
dumping
time you ever played it.
so much time into it and like spending a lot of time just on my little settlements.
Yeah,
like,
do you remember
building stuff on the settlement? Do you want to tell the story about how I ruined your
Yeah,
Fallout
I do want to tell that
campaign?
because I stopped playing for like a year after that. So Fallout 4 just came out, and it was about 2 months after, so I had a lot of time in on it. Things were looking good. Matt comes over to my house, and while I'm sleeping, decides to use my character and throw all of my stuff in a random trash can on the map and just does not know where it was or any idea. He fast traveled around the map, so we had no clue.
And then I went to a town and just started killing people and then got you killed and then I saved.
He saved over my stuff, so
It was like
I'd
all
be so fucking.
it was
pissed.
ultimate dick
I was
move,
not
yeah.
happy. I didn't play for like a year, and then I just restarted.
Yeah.
I basically made it so you had to restart, which after dumping a bunch of hours into that game earlier this year, I really started to feel the weight of my actions.
You saved. I think I got like that alien gun, and that was the only thing you saved. My guy was naked, and I had no weapon other than that alien gun.
You get like 50 shots for that, and then it's
I was
gone
gonna
forever.
say, then there's no ammo
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a fun Fallout 4. I always think about this with Fallout 4. I remember when it came out, I had a political science class, and he was like, "Yeah, there'll be 5 tests throughout the year, random. You don't know when they're coming." And when Fallout 4 came out, there really wasn't one for a while. But I was like, you know what? I'm staying home and fucking playing this game.
Yeah.
Of course, that was when he gave me the goddamn test. But I was in an apartment. I lived with Mike, Deadliest Warrior Podcast alum, and Scott, Deadliest Warrior Podcast alum.
Yeah, you might recognize Scott as
The glitchy computer.
Scott.
Yeah.
I just kept. Sorry, Craig. I just kept hearing you guys laugh the whole time Scott was trying to talk.
Because
That didn't get edited out.
his
A lot of it did.
his record, like, it played fine, I think, for the people watching, but for us, it was always funny because we had no idea what Scott was saying.
It didn't play perfectly fine for the people.
Oh, okay. Because we would get like one word of Scott's and then it would just stop and we'd just be like kind of looking at each other and it's like,
Got the gist of what he was saying.
We had
like-
to pretend like we heard it and go,
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Scott, great point.
yeah. Well, I live with them too, and we lived in a not great area. Basically.
I was at that apartment.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
was I,
I forgot. Yeah, so not
You
a
pee in
great
the
area.
sink?
Nope, not at
Not that one. And Mike was studying, and he came in my room, and he was like, I was playing Fallout. He's like, "Would you mind like turning the game down while I'm studying?" And I was like, "That wasn't the game. That was like a shooting outside."
Yeah, right.
And he was like, "Oh well, I'll go back to studying." Because like there was like a shooting like at least once a month, or at least
Yeah.
gunshots, and it's when people are like, "Oh my god," but it's like, what do you do? Like you don't get involved. Like
Right.
you just kind of
Yeah.
just keep doing what you're doing.
duck down a
It's
little
like,
bit.
I'm not Spider-Man. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna wing out there and be like, what seems to be the problem?
Yeah, one time, me and Mike, we were sleeping in the same room, and he was like, "Were those gunshots?" And I was like, "Yep." And he went back to sleep. It was like, yeah, again, what do you do? So that was fun. But I always think of fun. People bring up Fallout 4. I remember that.
They came out recently with, did anyone buy the anniversary edition of Skyrim?
I did. Yeah.
anniversary edition,
Wait,
like the newest one.
Oh no,
They
sorry.
have like the legendary
Never mind.
edition. And they just came out like very recently with the anniversary edition, where they
Added fishing.
yeah, they added fishing in the content creators
Ooh.
club, where it's like official mods were like included with it for free. But they had it on sale on the PlayStation Store the other night, and I was looking at it, I was like, what is the point of this?
Let me ask you something. When are they gonna get a mod for you to marry the vampire lady?
Or Hiroki. If you know, you know. Hiroki over in Markarth.
Isn't Hiroki underage?
No.
I thought she was.
No. She's the girl in Markarth that everyone wanted to marry. Wasn't allowed. I'm going to look her up her age. Okay, hold on. Keep talking.
You might have to edit that
So
out. But
Skyrim.
Serena, the vampire lady, everywhere I go, I see people saying, I wish I could marry the vampire lady. And I understand, because when I was playing the game, it's not even a weird sexual thing. It was like I was playing with her, and like we're going on a vampire mission to a castle, and I was like, I don't have any connection with any of these other like random weirdos, Ayla the Huntress or whatever, and who I ended up marrying, but I was like,
That's who everybody ends up marrying.
but I was like,
Nah, Lydia.
Lydia's boring.
everyone
as hell.
Okay,
everyone
she is-
marries.
Obviously an adult. Right?
Yeah, but what's her age though?
It's a video game. They don't give her an age.
She's got boobs.
Girls be looking pretty old these days.
I don't know.
Well,
It's a video game, okay?
The sus meter's going up here.
when I was unemployed for like 2 months last year, I played Skyrim. I restarted and just played it nonstop. Melissa would leave me in the morning and I'd be playing Skyrim. She'd come back in the afternoon. I'd be playing Skyrim.
Isn't that great when there's a game that you can get so into that you just throw out all your life's ambitions?
And
It's a blessing. It's a blessing and a
Now that we're
curse.
talking about Skyrim, I think I might go back and play for the 100th time.
Well, that's what I was getting
Get
at.
the
I was going
fishing.
to ask if anyone had bought the anniversary edition, because I was debating, because it's $60 normally, but if you own the legendary edition, you can upgrade it to the 10-year anniversary edition for like $15 right now or something.
Ooh.
It's a video game.
Ooh. So the reason you can't marry Hiroki is because her class in the game is child.
Young adult.
It's child.
No, it isn't. Let me see that.
This is embarrassing.
Ooh. Hiroki Skyrim age is what I searched. And not that far down, we get to like some weird deviant art stuff of like an Argonian and a Khajiit. Like,
Oh, okay.
All right.
y'all got a thing going on. All right.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
That's always been a thing, the rule.
So I will.
What is it, 34?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where no matter what it is, it's got something that you don't want.
Yeah, look, she's in the Hiroki Skyrim 10 characters you can't romance but should be able to. And look who else is there, my vampire girl, Serena. You couldn't hook up with her because she was like DLC and they were too lazy to
Yeah,
add.
Did I ever tell you about the Reddit post about Serena, whatever her name is?
No.
So I found this thing, and don't ask me what I was doing. I was on Reddit looking up like, oh, her on blah, blah, blah. And this guy, he goes full cringe meter, like
Oh, I'm
beyond. And he goes,
I've never
Man,
loved an anime.
it was pretty much one of those like, I've always loved her, man. I've never had such a thing. What do you have to do in your life to get to this point?
Yeah.
Like, how do you end up here?
It reminds me of, do you ever see the top 10 like hottest Sonic characters? The video?
No.
Oh, dude! Whenever we're done recording this, we'll watch it real quick.
Knuckles, number
it's
one.
funny, and it was a really old YouTube video that was like pre-irony. It's like pre-modern,
No.
so it's like legit.
Hey, can I say this is not on the sexual topic, but on the pre-irony kind of thing. Probably the cringiest thing I ever saw on YouTube was like, so there's a whole genre of these kind of videos where people take scenes from like a movie or a TV show and they play like a serious song behind it. So like normally you would expect it from like a 12-year-old girl who watches Twilight, and so she takes like the 1,000 Years song and makes her own music video
AMV,
of like
AMV.
yeah, of like
Rose like Hillary Duff. Let the rain.
yeah,
fall
and
down.
like Edward's skin is shining, and then they kiss at the end. The funniest one I ever like. I don't look at that and say like cringe, because it's like probably a young girl making it is fine. The shit I saw, it was Monster by Skillet, and it was a compilation of Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens, and it's just a bunch of scenes of him in The Force Awakens, and then at the part of the song where like it all drops and it goes, I must confess that I feel like a monster. When that part played, it did, spoilers, the part where Kylo Ren kills Han Solo.
If you want some real like YouTube cringe,
I'm gonna see if I can find that so we can link it.
I bet.
You showed me that before at some point.
I was like, yo, watch this terrible video.
look on any ASMR video where like it's some girl in like, you know, a sports bra like hanging out. Look at the if you want some real cringe. Look at the I wasn't on there for any reason. But look at the comments of those.
I can't look at comments like that. It's too uncomfortable.
My favorite was this guy with like he had long hair and he was in Joker makeup frowning in his profile picture, and he just goes, I'm so lonely, I cried so hard during this ASMR. And it was like, you know, fun time ASMR, having a good time with your girlfriend.
Huh.
And I was just like, oof, man.
Dude,
where do you get to that?
A fucking CIA death squad could not get me to admit that if that was really true.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Just don't post that.
Well, jumping back to sex and video games, one game I like to play is Dead by Daylight, and I was reading this, like it was a Reddit like Ask Anything of like one of the creators of the game, and the one question was, can we have can you add having sex with the killer? And the guy was just like, for what purpose?
You just sparked like a memory in me that I wanted to include in here. So I do the thing where if I wake up at like 8 or 9 in the morning, I'll go back and lay in bed sometimes for like an hour or two if I have nothing going on. And that's when I have the craziest dreams. This morning, I had a dream that I created a video game called Murder by Midday. And you were at a camp, like Camp Crystal Lake from like the Jason series. But I physically got like sucked into the video game. And I was running around. The evil guy was this like camp counselor that looked like he was from like a Rick and Morty cartoon, and he was trying to stab you with a pitchfork, and that was his whole thing. I wish I could remember more details.
Murder by Midday instead of Dead by Daylight.
At some point, he started carrying around like a baby Jesus while he was trying to stab me with a pitchfork, and he dropped him, and the baby got absorbed into the ground. And then he dropped like a lightsaber thing, and I cut the camp counselor guy in half, and he absorbed into the ground. And then like ripped Jesus came out of the ground, and it was like final boss that you have to kill. And I woke up and I just went, what the fuck?
Always before the climax. That's when you wake
Right?
up.
That's like the best part when you're about to go to battle.
Yo,
Regardless of the dream. You know, right before the climax.
Lucas, I just I sent you the link. I found the video.
Oh, don't worry. I'll
Kylo
link it
Ren.
in.
Kylo Ren monster Star Wars skillet. If Lucas doesn't put the link in, which he should, it literally came up. All I did was search Kylo Ren skillet monster, and it was the first thing that came up.
LinkedIn, more like Lincoln Build.
It's important. It's the first one, and it's important when he kills Han Solo. The screamo part of the song drops, so you gotta. That's how you know you found the one.
Well, ladies
I
and
wasn't
gentlemen,
listening to anything you guys were saying. I was searching for that fucking video.
it's fine. I was talking about fighting ripped Jesus
in
at Camp Crystal
his new
Lake.
game called Murder by Midday instead of Dead by Daylight.
There was an iguana in a tree. I remember that. That's all else I remember. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This is Pretty Good Podcast 8. Stay tuned. We just did the Al Capone versus Jesse James Deadliest Warrior. We got perhaps the next Deadliest Warrior Sim Season 2 coming out.
We may have gotten our hands on a copy of the top
Slytherin
secret
Studios.
Slytherin Studios.
Stay tuned for that. Watch Matt has to challenge Craig in Zenu All-Stars shortly here. We'll be getting that up. RJ, anything you want to plug?
No, just thanks for having me, guys. This was great. It was
Yes, thank you for
both
coming.
podcasts were great. Check out that All-Stars matchup because Lucas lost and it's funny.
I was the guinea pig. Hey, we want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We got some more stuff coming. Go ahead, check out that observing dinosaurs for 30 minutes and stay tuned for Jurassic World Evolution 2.
All right, and just remember, I hate what I become. I must
Play him out, Brendan.
confess that
Play him
I
out.
feel like